Out of all the episodes I've seen from Jimmy Neutron, Make Room for Dario is the one that I never watched. And considering that today is Father's Day, it's really appropriate to do a review of it today. This is my review of Jimmy Neutron's Make Room for Dario. The 82nd annual Father's Day Follies is taking place at Jimmy's school. And yes, you heard that correctly. This is the 82nd time, well, the teachers at Jimmy's school is completely doing this during Father's Day. No comment there. However, the issue is that Jimmy is scared that his father is going to embarrass him in front of the public. And considering the fact that Libby and Cindy are going to be watching, jeez. It's just basically the typical life of Jimmy Neutron. Always getting humiliated and always being down to the dumps. Well, not really down to the dumps, but what I say is in front of so many people when they're not interested in science unlike he does. In order to avoid embarrassment, he comes up with an idea by inventing the Neutron Dedorkinator. Yeah, I'm probably not going to say that again because I'm most likely found that name mostly hilarious, but also kind of cruel to follow since that Jimmy decided to, do what he's going to do in this episode. But anyway, he completely uses his invention on his father, and in the next morning, nothing really worked, but at the candy bar, Hugh Neutron isn't what he used to be. In fact, he's a rock star and also a motorcycle dude. Seriously. That invention completely changed his father so much that I honestly think that this is the exact opposite of what we've seen from Hugh Neutron. But this also leads to another predicament where his father has become more popular to the point that someone decides to actually want him to run a show at his studio. Yeah. So this is literally what this episode is mainly about. It's not about bad guys completely taking over Retroville or any of that kind of stuff. It's just about Jimmy and Hugh Neutron, which actually makes this episode a lot more interesting and also a way to celebrate Father's Day. My thoughts on Hugh Neutron is mostly good, but at the same time, he really isn't one of the best characters in the show. Now, I understand that he's actually really humorous in the fact that he's mostly not smart, but considering that he's one of those characters who actually has a heart to his son, really makes him mostly relatable, even though that he's mostly obsessed with ducks and pies. That's why I think that Hugh Neutron in the show is pretty much completely harmless when it comes to what he does best for the not intelligent father stuff that we've seen so many times. I'm being a bit nicer because, of course, today is Father's Day, and I should also be respectful towards fathers. But I will say that Jimmy's motivations in this episode is understandable since that he doesn't want to get embarrassed by so many people in school. And besides, stage fright isn't something that Jimmy isn't aware of. He can handle it. But considering that he's going to be on stage with his father and completely about to do something that he's not able to do, I really think that that's something that kids like Jimmy's age will probably go through no matter what. And since that this is mainly catered to fathers, since that this is a Father's Day episode, they really want to do everything they can to actually have Jimmy see what his father does best. In this episode, we don't even get to see Hugh Neutron in his motorcycle popularity thing because he's always busy doing concerts and stuff like that, which is actually the sad thing about real life. And considering the fact that Hugh Neutron is completely not what he used to be, makes this moment, well, Hugh Neutron completely rejects pie, heartbreaking. This isn't funny because this is actually a really serious situation that Jimmy's invention is mainly the cause of this. And to make matters much, much worse, he also destroyed Jimmy's invention, which means that he remained his newer self for the rest of his life. So yeah, this is one of those moments what really makes this episode a lot more entertaining, especially for a Father's Day episode. Now, Jimmy's last option to this is when they go into the studio. He needs to actually pretend that he's about to fall off a ledge or something so that his father can catch him, and he actually succeeded. Granted, it's one of those moments that I don't actually see a lot in later episodes, but I think this is something that what his father does whenever Jimmy's on a tree or something when he was really, really little. Yeah, I keep saying really a lot, but at the same time, I need to be really specific, and I keep saying that word wrongly so many times. To me, I honestly think that this episode really does everything that what a Father's Day episode should do. And to me, it actually makes this a lot more appreciative to see what Jimmy Neutron can do in some of these occasions. Whether if it's involving Christmas, Halloween, or of course, Father's Day, Jimmy Neutron actually knows how to make a holiday special right. With this being one of the only episodes that I didn't get to see as a kid, I'm actually kind of ashamed of myself, because if I did see this episode in the past, I would probably consider Jimmy Neutron a really interesting way of what childhood is like while watching some of these episodes. Actually remembering of what they actually do most, and the fact that Jimmy is actually emotional in this. You don't usually see Jimmy in some emotional situations like this, and I actually think that this episode really does what Father's Day episodes should do. And then at the end of the episode, well, these two completely got back together because of what Jimmy had to do for his final option, is actually a great way to end off a Father's Day episode. I know I keep praising this episode a lot, but that's just basically me because I didn't watch this episode when I was little, which is actually kind of a shame to actually think about. So watching this episode again, I'm actually kind of thankful that I managed to watch it. And for this being a Father's Day episode, this is the perfect day for me to do a review of this episode. I give this episode an 8 out of 10. With all the reviews done for this month, just wait until I have for July. I know I kept saying that in this review, my Challenge Showdown and Foster's review, but believe me, July is gonna be unbelievable.